The main motivation for making the film was to bring forward a topic that is shrouded in much mystery, superstition, negativity, and stigmatization. It's a topic that a lot of people hardly know anything about, but will be quick to tell you that it's all negative, it has to do with witchcraft and devil worship. So we wanted to bring forward the topic in a manner that clearly identifies what it's about and help reduce that stigma that has been attached to it for centuries.
This subject's always interested me, but I've found that there's not much information available, or whenever you are told anything about it, it's negative. So for me, it was quite important to find out what it really was about and just kind of learn the ways of my ancestors, really, because I just refused to believe that all they were doing was negative. And as we've come along our journey, and even the research I've done before the film, it's proved to be the complete opposite of what we've been told.
I loved the film. I think it's absolutely educational and uplifting, liberating. It's such a big topic because spirituality obviously has an African origin, as it has our life, so that's why it's so important. So it has a cross-cultural dimension. It brings up a lot of discussions which I think are important to have. I think it can be used really well in schools because it shows discussions that need to be out in the open.
Ono nyina panyini wiase nyina panyini ono bo oba de nyina de be asase so na emiri pi no ya ona o mo kire se onyankopon abosom de o mo nka ho o mo boa onyankopon no bo obosom odi kan bo soro bo asase bo nwura bo nsu enu echi no bo obosom de be wiase na ba boso no be wiase no o transe nya po hu se na oba nyina ye ansa na oba ni pada se ne se mra na mehwe so nti abosom ye spirit omo ye nia eche ye nkwan ndo nyankopon na abofo ya abosom.
What we're hoping to do with it is to make sure that it can be put onto educational curricula. So for instance, with religious education and studies, so that the debate about African spirituality and how it fits into world religions and informs them can be had in the right manner.
It's very good for a documentary like this to be put together so that our younger generation can look back and see that it's something that's an option for them to now explore and not something for them to run away from.
There were a lot of things I learned while making this documentary, but the thing that struck me the most was how much cultural unity there exists among Africans across the continent. And these similarities date from ancient ideologies right down to the modern day. So for me, what was really striking was the fact that how modern day Africans focus more on their differences as opposed to their similarities.
Coming from a Jamaican background, you hear a lot about if you dream about fish, it means someone's going to have a baby. So learning about the Orishas and the Orisha Yemija, who represents fertility and motherhood and creative energy, who's symbolically shown as a mermaid, and she's literally called Mother of the Fishes in Yoruba as well. So just to even hear about that and make the correlation, it just shows that no matter where you are across the globe or how much time has passed, the wisdom is still there, it's still within us.
We Africans, we had our own traditions. These money-making organizations, them come put we Africans in total confusion.
What we found most difficult about making this documentary was people's general reactions to the idea that we would even consider making a documentary about African spirituality. And that's when it actually became obvious that most people don't actually believe Africans even have a spiritual practice, even though you can find elements of these practices in Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism. You can find these practices there. However, people had never seemed to have made this correlation. And this is what made us even more steadfast that it was a necessary documentary, because we realized the level of disconnect that people have about this topic.
Difficulties we encountered were more just like practical setups, like everything we physically done was on our own, so literally we done it all ourselves. We had basic editing skills, or we had to kind of really brush up on everything we knew and just put it forward. So it really was a test of character and endurance, but equally we felt that we were so driven to make this project that you just always found a way. I think there's been a big response for this because information is so limited. So for a documentary to be made like this, showing diverse people from all over the world speaking openly and frankly on the topic, is something very rare. So I think it's something that resonates with a lot of people, and also gives other people who may have not considered this topic before, it opens up a window for them to look in and think, actually, maybe I've got this all wrong, maybe it's not as scary as I thought, or whatever else. So it's a film that is cross-cultural, opens up many doors for people, and the whole aim to educate, really.
I feel like there is a big awakening of people wanting to reconnect with their culture, reconnect with their inner self and their inner spirituality. So to feel like, again, it's just another push that like, yes, this is it for me.
It was a wonderful film, really enjoyed it. I'm really glad to have watched it and hope to continue to be a part of what you're doing. It's a great movement to have begun.
The most rewarding part has been people's responses. I remember a lady at one screening in London who broke down crying after the documentary was over because it had touched her so much. And for me, it made it feel like all the negative reactions we'd experienced to the making of it was all worthwhile.
Just the positive response we've had. I mean, it's a topic that most people don't want to go near, but yet the end result has been so positive and people have been so grateful. It just shows that all that hard work that we went through was worth it, and I'm just glad to be part of something like that.
The memorable part to making the documentary was when we had to film a shaman who'd been possessed, and it's just how erratic his movements became and his voice, how it changed. And I had to sit close to him, and he had a weapon, like a sharp object. And in his frantic movements, I still had to ensure that the microphone was close enough to him to pick up what he was saying. To me, it felt like an initiation to allay my fears. And that really settled me afterwards.
Memorable moments, I would probably have to agree with Dalian. I mean, filming that shaman was just amazing. It felt like, even though I was there, because I was behind the camera, it was almost like I could kind of remove myself from the situation. It just felt very surreal, but very fascinating at the same time. So just being there, I just felt proud to be in that situation, because I was like, what we're doing is something quite powerful. And at that moment, I think it brought it home to me.
This really empowered me to say, right, you're on the right track, just keep going and increase my knowledge and my practices, really. Because I know that I'm not just here to live and die, there's more to it, but I need to find the key. And today I kind of got nearer to the door. Thank you.
The response has been overwhelmingly positive. It's just amazing to see how much people all over the globe have supported the work by purchasing a documentary or coming out to screenings or whatever. It's been really big, and what we want to do is kind of give back and just arrange more things, and even take it further by having different events where people can talk and learn more about this subject, because it's been hidden for so long or either suppressed or whatever else, that now is a time of awakening and people want to seek this knowledge. And I think people should be allowed to seek knowledge without discrimination and anything else. So it's been wonderful.